Hello, everybody! Happy Skyrim Sunday! Hello. So, you may have noticed. Oh shit! Don't look at that! Don't look at that! Okay. You may have noticed that we actually just played Skyrim on Friday. But you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna play Skyrim again because, man, I fucking love Skyrim. I don't know. I've been having kind of an identity crisis in the sense where I'm like, everyone tells me, they're like, just stream what you want to stream. Like, there's like a devil and an angel on my shoulder, right? Like, it's like, I can be your devil or your angel. But it's like, there's part of me that's like, you should stream like all kinds of games, you know, have some variety, have some spice. But then there's also like the devil on my shoulder that's like, you just want to play Skyrim. You literally just want to do nothing but play Skyrim. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of at a rock and a hard place because it's like, I don't think I would just play the Vanya playthrough Skyrim Monday. Listen, the end goal, Skyrim every day of the week. The devil is tempting you to play more Skyrim. The angel is suspiciously welcoming gamers. I don't know, because I'm like, I feel like part of like, I've been calling it Skyrim Sunday for like literal years now, right? And I'm worried that like, if I did Skyrim Sunday on more days that aren't just Sunday, then like, what if it's not special anymore? You know? But also like, fuck. I really like, I haven't enjoyed a playthrough this much. And don't get me wrong, I love a lot of the other Skyrim playthroughs we've done, but this is like, I love this shit. I think part of it is because this is our first long-term playthrough. This is my first like long-term like ride or die playthrough, probably in like a few years. For a long time, I kind of just did whatever. I would kind of just play a character with like a basic concept, and then once we accomplished like 3 major quest lines, it would be like bing bang bong, start a new one, right? And don't get me wrong, I love creating characters. Creating characters is literally one of my favorite things to do on the planet, right? Y'all know that. Y'all know I am very attached to my original characters. But like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we will go back to that format at some point, but I think with this playthrough, it's like, I love the character a lot, right? I love Vanya so fucking much, but also it's like, I don't know. We're now on the road to try and get as much done with the museum as we can, and I want to keep going. I want to finish this fucking museum. But in that note, it's time to wipe my mock up through the in-game mod manager. Hell yeah! I need to actually, so I use Immersive and Epic, but I've added so much to it since I started playing it. I need to see if like, does ModWatch still work? Because I tried using ModWatch to actually upload the like full mod list I use somewhere for y'all. Wait, what?
Let the killing commence.
Hello? We just started. Ma'am? Oh, that's Lydia. Whoopsie. What is going on? What? We just got here. This is a Wendy's. Okay. All right. Anyway. Are we done? Okay, as I was saying, I want to get a full mod list together for you guys because I have made a bunch of additions to it. But I used to, like, back in the day, I always used ModWatch, and I don't know if ModWatch, like, works anymore. Oh, hang in there, Skelly baby. You're doing okay. But where we left off last time, I was so rudely interrupted by that Falmer. Can you believe that? Thank you, Inigo, for your input. That's fantastic, sweetie. Hi, Lucky. Welcome in, gamer. This is the one that, I know I said this last time about how sometimes my followers are just yapping, but sometimes, like, the one thing that was like crazy about being an elementary school teacher for the longest time is you would just be like saying like just normal stuff, and then out of nowhere a kid would raise their hand and be like, my mom made lasagna for dinner on Friday. And sometimes I literally feel like that's what my followers, like, that's how they think, just like, I lost my dad once in the war. Oh, that's great, sweetie. Thank you for sharing. Like, that's really what they be saying. But anyway, so we are on a quest because our museum got robbed. Can you believe that? I know, I was shocked. Every time I need to go grab something from the museum, because I needed to grab a special weapon to appease the Anatomancer, because I need to give him a child sacrifice, which, you know, just girly things. I needed to go get the weapon from the museum, because I put it in the museum because I didn't think I'd need it anymore, you know? So I put it away, and then I needed to go get it, so I was like, walk my happy ass to the museum, and then the museum got robbed. So now we're trying to get all the shit back for the museum. My man, Avram, had told us his dark past of, like, I used to be with thieves and rebels and blah, 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 and now they've come to get their revenge. I'm like, okay, dude, that's whatever. Just help me get our shit back so I can go do a child sacrifice. You're really killing my vibe. Oh, thank you. I love my avatar. The joke I make all the time is they said I could be anything, so I decided to be myself with a funky hat. So that's what we're doing. We're exploring blood magic still. We're getting better at it. We are getting, bless you, David. Oh my God. We're getting a lot better with blood magic. I only killed myself like 3 times last stream as opposed to 5. Like we did before. Yeah, y'all good? Okay, Recorder is... Can I say something really fucked up? Because, like, I love Recorder. She really... I'm just gonna say, I think we need to lobotomize her. Because, like, I think she's just too quirky for her own good. She keeps talking about how much she loves violence and killing people, and she won't stop maniacally laughing. I think she could use a little lobotomy as a treat. Like, I love her, you know, but, like, girl, we need to calm down. She's perfect the way she is. Do you like women that go on murder? You know what? Don't answer that, actually. I know the answer. Don't answer that. Okay, so now we are looking for the vault, because that's where they have stashed our shit. So let's take a look. We got the whole D&D squad. We got Scritch, our dog. That's my dog. We got Inigo, my archer. He slays. We got Recorder, who's kind of a... Actually, hold on. I did install a mod to see if it would make the candlelight animation better. Oh, it's still shit. Okay. We'll have to experiment with that, because I don't like the way candlelight looks. And I thought my mod was working for this new one, but it's still... I'm telling you, candlelight looks like the LED headlights you see when you're driving. Like, that's what it looks like. So anyway, Inigo, Recorder, Avram, he's our guard. This is Lucian. He's supposed to be just like a silly, cute little twink, but I accidentally made him a samurai. Was not intentional, but this was the armor that I have, so now he's got his man titties out. Good for him. And then we got Lydia. You know her, you love her, or you hate her, depends. And then I have my 2 flame women and my... Where's my boners? My skeleton babies. Okay, I think my children died again. Okay. You're missing the most important of all, Misty Sky. No, I think we're good. I think we're doing just fine without Misty Sky. We don't speak that wench's name here anymore. So, let's see. Oh, I don't need more of that here. Let's actually throw knives at them made out of my blood, because that's always fun. Let me actually see if I can go into third person, because I do kind of want to see what some of these mods look like in third person. Let's see. There's gotta be someone else up here. Yeah, I see someone over there. There we go. Okay. I need to get blood drain health back out, because I am gonna potentially die, and I need to heal myself up. Here, can I heal myself from that range? Okay, cool. So, oh shit. Okay, let's... Fuck. Okay, can I get in a position where I can just heal? And, yeah, okay. I'm not healing a ton, but that's okay. Actually, you're right. We're just gonna pop one of these bad boys out here. And then let's just heal myself to be safe so I don't accidentally eat shit and die. Because I actually prefer it when I don't eat shit and die, believe it or not. So let's heal myself. Just a little bit more. And then we'll go back to the blood magic. So I like the blood knives. Let's see. Did you guys get them all? Damn. See, she's still going. She's still going, dude. Okay, what's in here? Where are we looking at? Guys. Okay, there's nothing cool in here. You guys are being weird. I will take the moonstone ore, though, because we might need that for some museum replicas. All right. Come on, gang. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Not the titty twister. Okay, so let's go back here. And then, here, let me get in third person. If I'm locked in, I can't get in third person, which is slightly annoying to me, although I guess it makes sense. Let's see. Can I get in this guy? Yeah, so this spell just, like, lets me kind of just suck them off, you know, just drain their health real good. But it does, the one thing I've noticed, because I've killed myself a few times with this, it does have an upfront blood cost, in the sense that it does drain some of my health, and then I get to use it. So let's put this back. And then the two offensive blood spells I have are Blood Dagger and Blood Drain. Basically what they do, Blood Dagger is kind of my favorite so far, because the concept of Blood Dagger is metal as fuck. You literally throw a knife made out of your blood at them. And I think that's cool as shit. But the other one we use is, what was it? Blood Drain, which is deal 40 points of blood damage at a 10 meter area. So that's an AoE, which is pretty cool. We do have some other ones that are Blood is Power. So for 60 seconds, you lose 40 points of maximum health, but blood spells are 10% stronger. I probably should start using that more, honestly, because it only costs 25 points to cast it. There's also Blood Mark, which is kind of like a Hunter's Mark type thing. It's pretty much just a sigil. And thank you so much for the yeet. Hi, Lagworth. Welcome in, gamers. We do still have Blood Tide, but that, again, is like 100 points of health, right? You can't see because my hat's in the way. So I can kill myself with these things, which is fun. Yeah, 8 points of blood damage to a target with 25% chance to deal double damage, cost 10 points of health. So a lot of these blood spells are really cool. I'm still getting the hang of them, so I'm kind of afraid. However, I do have blood points to spend. So what that means is we can go into the blood tree. We have hemophilia. Oh, wait, that's, there's like different ranks for these. Wait, did I not? Wait, hold on. I could have sworn I used one of my blood points. I could have sworn I unlocked... You know what it could have been? It could have been I unlocked it and then I died and then I didn't, like, save after. So let's do that. And then there's blood pressure. 200... Yeah, because I wanted Sanguine Mortis, because that's the one where I give people diseases. I would like to give people diseases. But I think I only have 150 blood points left. Let me check. So we go here. Hemomancy. Where is it? Blood magic. I literally just had it. Hello? Powers, right? Yeah, okay. I have 151 blood points to spend. Okay. So we'll wait for that. I am also gonna... let's just keep Fusroda on deck. Just for funsies. Let me drink some water real quick. But that's kind of what we're doing if you haven't seen the blood magic yet. Are you gonna give everyone AIDS? I was thinking more syphilis, but like... I don't know, man. The world's our oyster. We'll have to see, you know? So let's do blood... Well, actually, what's our max health at right now? 250. That's so... Yeah, because I kind of spam when I'm casting stuff. So we'll hold off. I think once our... once our health reaches the same level as our magicka, then we can start being kind of quirky with it. Yeah. So we don't do as much damage as I'd like. We're not, like, mowing through enemies quite yet, but... We're getting there. I just need to be careful of my health bar, because, like I've said, I've accidentally killed myself many a time. There we go. Oh, shit. Who's doing that? There we go. Okay, these are just... Whoa! Okay, there's a big boy over there. Let me just, get these spiders real quick. Yeah. You guys do that. Although, actually, y'all are beating his ass. Oh, my God. Oh, my God! You beat his ass! How does Vanilla Skyrim immediately break in the intro? Vanilla Skyrim, I feel like you always hear people meme about modded Skyrim, but Vanilla Skyrim is far from perfect either, you know? Evie about to turn into Oprah. You get AIDS, everyone gets AIDS, you get syphilis, everyone gets syphilis. Oh, my model just ate shit. I'm sure she'll come back. I'm sure she'll live again. And if not, I'll scream. I'll scream. Is she really just, like, dead? Hold up. Let me make sure. Maybe not. Hold on. Find server. I click new game and as the game faded into being, the cart began to fly until I stepped back to the ground and realized started yapping. I believe that. Oh, wow. She's frozen. Look at her. She ain't doing shit. Okay, hold up. Let me make sure. Let's see. iPhone? Hello? iPhone. I may have to just stop and restart it, but that's okay. Give me 1 second, and it should be okay. The intro card can still wig out like that. Some things never change. There are a few constants in my life, but one of them is the fact that the cart in the opening scene of Skyrim will just lose its shit from time to time, and I think that's beautiful. Okay, let me see. Let me live. If it won't let me live, I'll just use my webcam. My webcam tracking isn't as good as my phone, but it's okay. Hello? Hello? Wake up. Wake up, queen. Hello? Maybe she doesn't want to wake up. Christy, wake up. I'm so sorry. I guess she doesn't want to wake up. Okay, well, go to sleep, bitch. That's fine. All right, let me do this. The Inhuman should keep adding mods. Listen, I know you're not supposed to add mods, but sometimes it's just fun, okay? It's just fun. Thank you for the yeet. All right, we're gonna just turn this bad boy back on. Oh no, I had a stroke. Okay. I live begrudgingly. Sometimes the iPhone is really nice. Sometimes it just bugs out. Although for some reason it has me like tilted. Hold on. Aha, there we go. Now I'm rotating. All right, perfect. Thank you for the posture check, Leo. I appreciate you. Hi, Morgan. That could that could be a possibility on Fuckboy playthrough. That's the thing, is I can have him just have an STD as a backstory. You know, builds character. Yeah, no. Thank you for the hijack. Okay, that works. 800 mods. Have you got a supercomputer? No, I just got a pre-built in a dream. Welcome in, everybody. Holy shit, did you see that combat roll? Goddamn. Okay. Alright, we're close to the pit, or the vault in the Sightless Pit. I don't really like the name Sightless Pit. I'm gonna be honest. It's not really telling me much. Also, why am I... That's the one thing I have noticed about the Hemomancy mod is, yeah. See how it's using my, like, actual health to cast spells? That's not right. Like, if I... Here, watch this. If I do this, if I cast healing, right? I'm even gonna just make sure there's no discrepancy, and it kills me. That's the one thing where I'm like, it might be a bug. Oh, no, that worked. Okay. That's healing hands. Let me make sure it's healing. I need fast healing. That's what it was. There we go. Okay, because that happens sometimes. I try to cast a normal spell, and then I'll use my regular health, which is fun. Built my new rig. Ooh. Nice. I don't know. I think one of the first things I did when I got my first big fancy computer was, one, I did play Skyrim, but then I just played a bunch of Minecraft. I used to play a lot of Minecraft, but I kind of like fell out of love with it, honestly. I know this is gonna sound really stupid. Once we got to the caves update, I was like, I don't know. I always see these TikToks, and I send them to David, right? David's my boyfriend, and like, it's always like the stereotype of like, oh, the girl makes all the building and the pretty stuff, and the boyfriend, you know, does all the fighting and the material gathering. I don't do either of those. You know what I like to do in Minecraft? I don't know. Maybe I'm like, girl, no. Man, no. Dwarf, yes. Because what I like to do when I play Minecraft, I like to make a big tunnel. Like, I literally just get a big tunnel going, and I just dig. Like, all I want to do is strip mine. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to dig. And with the new caves update, you can't just dig anymore. Oh, it's this way. Whoopsie. I mean, like, I guess you can, but it's not the same, you know? It's not the same, okay? It's just like, I don't know. Like, I get that caves are gonna be scary and stuff sometimes, but now it's like, I just want to dig. That's all I want to do is I just want to dig in peace, and I feel like you can't do that anymore, okay? So then, now I don't want to play Minecraft, because I can't dig, alright? If I can't mindlessly make a tunnel to the center of the earth, then I don't want it, okay? That might be, oh. Oh. That's unique. Okay, I guess they let me dig. They won't let me dig in Minecraft, but they'll let me dig here. Okay. Speaking of holes, thank you for the clip lag. Well, that was is it gonna work this time? Oh. Oh no. Oh, this is not. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Wait. What the fuck did I do? What? I don't have a quest marker anymore either. Hold on. Let's be a little silly. Okay, what does this door lead to? Let me just, don't mind me. Did you fall through the map? I think I did. Vault release valve. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Restore, okay. I mean, my methods may be unconventional. Oh. But they work. Okay, restore steam in the right valve system. What's this one? I'm just I don't know. Oh, God. I don't know if I'm doing this right, chat. Okay, this one. Because we got one of them. Let's see, this one. Maybe this one. Okay, now there's another one over here. Because that one's not going away. I don't know what's going on. Let's see if we can worm our way through this one. Oh, wait, what's that? Activate Wraithguard and Sunder? Oh. And that's it. Well, the quest went away. Let's see if I can go through door number 1. Maybe find my way back. Cause, like, is the museum good now? If I fucked it up, I'll reload a save and we'll figure out what's... Thanks, Lydia. We'll figure out what's going on, but, can I head out here? Is this gonna work? Yeah, Lydia, she's ride or die. Oh. Somehow. That worked. Okay. I guess we'll just go now then. All right. I guess the museum is cool and we can get the Adamancer stuff back. That was certainly something. All right, let's see if we can find our way back. I just clicked a random quest because I'm assuming it'll take me out of the cave. Yeah, there we go. But listen, I'm just glad we got our stuff back. Hopefully, I'm gonna fast travel to the museum and like make sure we're good. But yeah, give my nightly offering to the God Man Todd. I did not say my prayers to Todd Howard, and that's probably why we're in the situation we're in. So that was crazy, huh? All right, yeah, let's just head back. All right, let's see. Back to the museum. Hey, it did give us an artifact, so that's cool. Hi, Gavin. Welcome in, gamer. We just broke a quest, the no clip through it, and it worked. I think we're gonna find out if it worked, but the quest went away, so you know. But welcome in. So let's see. If it didn't work and my stuff isn't back in the museum for some reason, I'm gonna scream. So let's see if we're okay. But God, I fucking hope so. let's take a look-see. And we'll see what's going on. Yeah, I love Legacy of the Dragonborn. Are we gonna get rid of this? Wait, my shit's not back yet. This could be a problem. So it was the Legends Lost quest, yeah. And it said we got our stuff back, and then the quest disappeared. So, like, do we have to talk to Arian or something? Because the quest did kind of break for me, but it said we completed it. It said we got our stuff back, so I'm like... Arian? Oh no, you died. Oh no. Where is the mother? Hey! They sounded absent. You doing okay?
Thank you for asking. I'll be fine. I'm just a bit shaken.
You all right?
I'm more worried about the state of the museum.
Yeah, you and me both, buddy.
The state we've been left in.
Well,
All right then.
I think I broke it. Because the quest just went away. I mean, what does it say? Yeah, Legends Lost. Yeah, I restored Steam. I did these, and then it said I didn't, but I guess I didn't. What the fuck?
It's going to take days to clean this up.
Maybe you talk to
So we'll meet
Avram?
again.
It's not the quest for the artifacts. That's the thing, though, is I'm like, what do I do? Because
You need to talk to Aryan, leave, and then
It's
come
going to take
back.
days to clean this up.
Well, I did that because I did the thing where you get everything back, the Legends Lost quest, and because that's what I'm worried about is I'm like, did I break it? Because it said originally that I did these two things because I no-clipped my way through it because the map wasn't fucking loading, and then it says now that I didn't. So let's try leaving and coming back and seeing if that makes a difference. I might need to set the quest stage or something.
If your sequence broke it, then you might have fucked it.
I might have fucked it. Legends Lost isn't the quest for the museum. What? No, it's not. It wasn't. What was it? No, not this one. Where was it then? What the fuck was I doing there? Oh, what the fuck? How'd I get? Okay, I fucked up a different quest. Oh, well, that's fine. Why did I think it was that one then? Well, that's fine. Whoopsie. I don't know why. It might have been, maybe it was on the way or something. I got confused. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but that's okay. All right. Where is he? Thank you. I don't know. I was maybe my fucking potato brain was like, legends, legend, legacy, suspicious. Listen, we've said this before, and I'll say it again. We know I don't know how to read. We know I'm illiterate. And you might be thinking, but Evie, aren't you writing a book? Isn't that what like one of your last streams was about? No, that's not related. Not related. Oh, I think I know where I fucked up. It's definitely a vanilla quest though. Well, who gives a shit about vanilla? Listen, is it like, how important is it? Probably, it's probably fine. I've been spotted while fast traveling. No. By who? Oh, that guy? Hey. What's your damage? I thought I cleared this fort out already.
Now, ain't this a surprise?
Give me your blood. I need to level up my skills as a war criminal. Give me, oh, hey, there you are. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. Cool. Alright, let me make sure I also have my drain health so I don't do that. Let's see. Give me your bones. Because once it's nighttime again, I am going to try to make more boners. You need the items from that quest for the museum. I did get the 2 items at least. Because I think I got something. It gave me 2 things. I don't remember what the... Yeah, the Wraith Guard. Okay. We got the items, so I think we're fine. Like, if we didn't get the items, then I'd be kind of... But, like, we have the items, so... Who gives a shit? Who cares? Alright. Actually, I need that firewood. I don't remember why I needed firewood, but I know I need it for something. So, let's see what's going on. It's a Creation Club quest. Creation Club Shmeation Shmub. Who gives a damn? Let's see. Yeah, I thought I cleared this shit out. Is that a bear? I thought I heard a bear. I could have sworn I got everyone here. But I guess I didn't. Now they're pulling up on me. Like I did something wrong. What'd I do? I just kill people. I'm not a thief. I'm not an outlaw. All of my crimes committed ethically. Unlike you. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Gold, foot, hand, leg, rib. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Hanging in there, eh? Okay. That was bad. I'm sorry. I could have sworn. Wait, why is there a bear here? Hi, Janai. Welcome in, gamer. Why is there a bear? I knew I heard that. I was like, what the fuck's the bear doing here? Okay. We don't have time for this. We need to get my shit back for the museum so I can commit a child sacrifice and move on with the rest of my day. Okay, this is... Jesus Christ. I'm telling you. It can never just be a normal day around here. Not even people anymore after they die. This is true. I just need their bones so I can do dark rituals with them. What's so crazy about that? Listen, I know they say if you can't provide your own, store-bought is fine, but I'm not sure if that applies in this scenario when you're doing necromancy. If you can't find your own corpses, store-bought is fine. Check me at the Costco. Buying corpses in bulk for my necromancy studies with my discount card. Steal people's bones and commit child sacrifice. I mean, I don't know. Now I gotta think about that. Would this character sacrifice a child? Maybe. Costco morgues. Fuck. Is Evie going to perform a late-term abortion? I mean... Like, you know, we say, like, it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. 12-pack of femurs, getting my industrial-sized jug of blood. Oh my, have you guys seen those videos where it's like, oh, Thalmor prison, great. Have you guys seen those videos of like Europeans dunking on Americans? Because they'll be like, oh my god, why do the Americans eat this much food? And it's like, girl, you're in a Costco. Like they'll see like the 12-pack of butter like all wrapped up and they'll be like, Americans use this much butter, this is why they're obese. It's like, it's a Costco, you stupid bitch. Like, why would I? Back ribs or baby ribs. Yeah, let me ask for that at Texas Roadhouse and see how that turns up. If it furthered her research, I mean, like, here's what I'll say, okay? I think she'd feel really bad about it, and it would haunt her forever. But I do think she'd do it. I don't know. Listen, we love morally gray characters, okay? She's not a good person. And that's okay. Let me just deactivate that because I am not dealing with that. My followers have bricks in their brain.
Hold up just a moment.
Where's Bobbin?
I don't like the feeling of this place.
Apparently it takes the same place. Yeah, I wish I could like, I don't know. If I ever have to choose between Vanya's cool ass fur coat and a bandolier, I'm choosing the fur cape. The fur cape is so fucking cool. I don't remember the doctor giving me those. Yeah, it's acceptable losses. When there were Americans trolling the Europeans talking about we don't have electric kettles. Listen, I don't know. So I've just been seeing those and it's like, girl, shut up. Shut the fuck up. Thank you though, Vader.
Facing the blade.
Oh damn. I don't know. Morally gray or morally gay. So I feel like a lot of people are shocked to hear that Vanya is one of my few straight characters actually. She's just morally gray. She's not morally gay. I'm sorry. What would she do? I suppose I can give you a moment, but if I see any funny business, you're out.
Thank you.
Have you seen how Europeans make Mexican food? I have not seen that, but I have seen the European Chinese food when they... There's this one girl I follow on TikTok, and I had to ask, like, I have my dear friend Swiss, my lovely friend Swiss, she is British, right? So I had to ask her, I'm like, is this how you eat Chinese food? And some of it, she was like, oh, yeah. But then as the video progressed, she was like, oh, no. But the way the girl says it, is she doesn't say, like, hey, guys, here's our, we got Chinese food. She goes, all right, loves, we've got ourselves a Chinese. And I'm like, hello? And then she, like, just dunks salt on it. Just, like, so much salt on it. And it's like she's sprinkling salt as if it's, like, a condiment. And I'm like, girl, huh? Like, I'm not saying American Chinese food is any better in some ways, you know. I know y'all don't know how to talk. And again, I say this in jest, you know. I do love my British friends dearly and my European friends. In fact, one of them is coming to visit me very soon. One of my friends, Flame, is coming to visit, and I love her to death. And trust me, they make fun of Americans just as much as I make fun of them. We kind of have that sort of relationship, you know? But I was just like, oh my god. But Swiss had to tell me, she's like, not all British Chinese food is like that. I think that woman's just insane. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fair. That's fine. Your other playthrough is befitting of morally gray and morally gay. Yeah. We will get back to that playthrough. I've just been really into this one lately. So I think when I want to break from this one, we'll go back to our man whore playthrough. Everyone's got to be a man whore from time to time. It's fun. It builds character, right? All right, this one. We're not doing a ton yet. You know what? Do we want to try using one of the big boy spells? Let me save in case I accidentally kill myself. But I kind of want to boil his blood. Literally. That sounds fun. Where is it? Blood boil. Boil the target's blood, dealing 81 points of damage. Has a 5% small chance to instantly kill the target. Costs 50 points to cast. Let's, Okay, I didn't instantly kill him, but I did do a decent amount of damage. No, my skeleton! Okay. Let me see. Well, we can always make another one, so that's okay, but my skeletons are not lasting long lately. I feel like maybe I should, like, put more points into making them a little heftier, but I don't know. I've been doing so much other cool shit. Dark Elf Stormcloak. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. Let me see. All right, yeah, we are given the suck. Ah, please, thank you so much for the 8 months, Gamer. You have 8 PlayStations. Thank you so much. Welcome in, Gamer. We're starting to use some of the big boy blood spells, and I am really playing with fire, but welcome in. Well, I'm not playing with fire. I'm boiling people's blood alive, which, again, it's metal as fuck. Why are you running, by the way? What, do you really think? Oh, fuck, I killed myself. Okay, he can run from me because I fucking died. Anyway, ignore that, ignore that, ignore that. That didn't happen. That wasn't real. That didn't happen. That didn't happen. How many mods do you have, as you mentioned the number in your bio? I think it's, like, 850, 900 now. I'd have to double check, but it's getting up there. It's certainly getting up there. And you know what? We can always go for more, you know? I think I'll have to, oh, who's hitting me? Stop hitting me. I'm trying to steal this man's bones. Show some respect. Where is he? Yeah, he's up there. Okay. Because you are boiling his blood. I mean, listen, this is all part of a valuable experiment. I'm from the University of Harvard. I need your blood for an experiment. I need your blood, sir. 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 We need to boil it. Oh, that was just a regular knife. Okay. Stop. Let's boil some blood. Yeah. Okay. That didn't kill him on sight, but that's okay. We are doing more damage now, at least. I do want to get my extra blood points. Okay. Oh, that did a good amount of damage. Okay. That's the thing, is it's like high risk, high reward. Because we either do... Oh, shit. Okay. I need to be careful. Here, let me just suck him off to death. And then we'll be okay. Oh, he's running at me. He's running at me. Okay. There we go. I am slowly healing myself, but the drain is pretty slow. But the rest of the posse's coming in at least. There's more packed blood order than I ever dared. Listen, I was talking to one of my other friends about it. My friend Skills, who, they do the art for, if you've read the first chapter of my book, they did the illustration for the first chapter. And they were like, they asked me how many mods I had, and I was like, yeah, I'm at like 800, and they were like, rookie numbers. I think they have around like almost 2,000 at this point, which is crazy. I would like to get up to that point, but I'm afraid. I'm afraid, honestly. We have, who do we have in our party? We have our skeleton mage. We have, let's see, who else is in here? We have Inigo, we have Lucian. We got Recorder. We got all kinds of people. And I think we still have Avram too, since this is the quest. So we don't have Dagon quite yet, but I think we do have Lucian wearing, I think that's his outfit. I think we got an outfit that's similar. Yeah, why is this guy? Ooh! Whoopsie. Yeah, pop off Inigo. Okay. Lydia's going. Recorder's going. Here, let me just borrow that. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. Okay, cool. Everybody's dead. That's why I got confused. Yeah, no, we gave Lucian armor that was really similar because I needed to give him armor, but all we had was the samurai armor, and does it? Oh shit! Here, help! 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 I'm just a little girl. I'm just a little girl. I'm literally just a little guy. I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little guy. I literally mean no harm. Ah! Who's shooting at me? Who's blasted? Oh my god, they are blasted. Okay, let me heal myself so I don't accidentally die. Cause that, no, what the fuck? What was it? A blood spell? See what I'm saying? I tried to heal myself and it killed me. What the fuck? That was not me. That was not me. No, 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 no. No, 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 we're doing that again. We're doing that again. No, 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 I'm not accepting that. I'm not accepting death to a bug. Absolutely not. No, okay, here's what we do. We just send in the women. Hot women! Okay, there we go. I need the hot women to fight my battles for me because I'm a baby. There we go, perfect. Let's see, what you got? Feet, arm, perfect. Okay. Who's next? Who's next? There's another one over there. I'm just gonna start running. Yeah, that was the door that one guy opened. Is there anyone back here? Because I was just chasing people, so I was like, I don't know what's back here. Do flame astronauts count as hot signals in your area? I mean, I don't see why not. What does that do? Oh, must have opened something. Oh, wait, did that close that? Hold on. Oh, it closed that. Hold up. Oh. Well, they're fighting back there. I'm just gonna take a look-see over here. I think this is where we came. Yeah, this is where we came from. Okay. I was like, why would it close that? And I'm like, oh, bitch, you're going backwards, you idiot. Oh, well. You know, I'm sure the homies got it all. I'm sure they got it all sorted out. This was the door that opened, I think. Can I come in through here? Oh, there's a bar in front of it. Okay. Let's see. You guys got it handled? I'm sure you're doing a great job out there, team. Do they count as bottom surgery? I mean, maybe? I don't know. Mayhaps? Let's see. Yeah, where'd you guys go? I lost all my friends because I abandoned them. Well, that does make sense, actually. Okay, you're not a friend, so it's good that you died. Let's see if we can open this door and then maybe find my friends. I think they're still brawling with everybody. Let's see. I should be able to get this door open, though. I have no points in lockpicking, but that's okay. Where there's a will, there's a way. Oh, not that way, though. That way. Oh, wait, what? Oh, hey. Okay, my friends are here. Yippee! Okay. All you have to do if your friends abandon you is pick a lock and they'll show back up again, I guess. Okay. We take those. Take all that. Maroon's Aegon looking confused as hell. So why these trans people are summoning flame atronachs to make the... Listen, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? You know what we say to that? Ally. Maroon's Dagon, you know, he's confused, but he's got the spirit. Ally. Okay, let me see. There we go. All right. Which way do we need to fucking go? Okay, I got lost. I was like, where the hell are we going? It looks like we need to go this way. Okay. Follow the arrow, follow the arrow, follow the arrow. Come on, gang. We gotta follow the arrow, and then we will find our way. Yeah, I think we need to go over maybe that way across there. Yeah, let's see. So I want to make sure we didn't actually go the wrong way, but we very well could have, because as we all know, I am not good with directions. But that's okay. Oh, here we go. That was the bar that was blocked. Maybe, can I get through it from over here? No, that wouldn't make sense. Let's see. Daedric Prince of Destruction supports trans people. Fuck yeah! Maroon's Dagon says trans rights. You love to see it. I'm telling you, ally. You know, ally. We love it. I think it might be around. Yeah. Okay. We're going backwards again. Where the fuck do I... Okay, you know what? I'm stupid. I'm not letting myself spend 50 minutes wandering around. Where is it? Where is it? Aha! My best friend. There we go. Show me where to go. Show me where to go. He is the Daedric Prince of Change. It actually fits. I love that. That's actually... You know what? That's actually wholesome as hell. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Just been 50 minutes of Helgen guarding Sneak to 100. You know, I would not have the patience for that. Personally. But if you do... You'll love to see it. He still wants to kill you, but he'll use the right pronouns. That's the thing, is like, I'll fuck you up. I will disrespect for you, but I will, like, I'm not gonna be a dick, you know? That's like, I'll be a dick in other ways, but I'm not gonna be a dick in that way. That's just mean. Alright, here we go. I'll disrespect you respectfully, you know? Alright, let's see. That's a dead body. Do you have any bones for me? Orcish Dagger of Slow Burning. What does a Dagger of Slow Burning do? Is it just like a really shittily, like, written romance where you're just waiting for them to kiss or something like that? I'm down for that. Let's see. Oh my god, I like burped and then like thought I was gonna throw up for a second. I apologize. That was very TMI. All these skulls and I can't take them, which is kind of lame. All right, now we're in the right direction. Ah! Okay, well, we're still in the right direction. That's okay. Nobody's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, and sometimes that mistake is ramming your face into a wooden bar. Okay. Hello? Let's see. Open? Not that way. This way. Yippee! Okay. Hello. Oh, there's a guy over there. Hold up. No, 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 no. Do not. Where are you guys? Where are they? I hear him. Are you pulling up or not? Ooh, money. Oh, shit. Okay, he is pulling up. All right, let me heal off him while the homies get rid of him. Because I think the homies got him. That's the other thing is the blood magic spells, the hemomancy spells, they do scale with destruction. So that is fun. Oh, fuck yeah, new sword. Okay, hell yeah. Skull. Here we go. There we go. Very confusing, patting the back. Hell yeah. Listen, I'm kind of here for it. Can someone draw Maroon's Dagon, but with like, oh shit. Fucking murk that guy. But with like the trans flag colors, because I feel like we need that in the world right now. I feel like we need that right now. Let me see. I don't want to step on that because if I step on it, I'm gonna fall in, and I don't want to fall in. Like that just looks like I'm gonna fall in, and I don't want that. I do want money though. Let's see. We should be close though. We're a lot better off than we were before. Oh, 3 paths lie ahead. Syndra. Syndra, League of Legends? Oh no, that's an old woman. That is not a sexy mommy from League of Legends. Okay. Yeah, that is not League of Legends lady. Okay. I really wish it was, but that's okay. No, my skeleton! Okay, well he lasted longer this time than he did the last time. Here, be gone, Syndra, League of Legends. Oh, that was the wrong one. That's okay. Alright, let's see. Skeletons. Here we go. Should be this way. Yeah, we were right there. Right there. Okay, cool. Alright, time to get my shit back. Let's see. Alright, let's take a look. Let's see. I actually don't think I've ever gotten this far in Legacy to do this quest. Or if I have, it's been a really long time. Because I honestly don't remember this shit at all. I really don't. Let's see. Oh! Stand back. Okay. I always have to, like, I know my followers can't hear me, but if I don't yell stand back, I'm afraid they're gonna just, like, yeet themselves into danger. Take that. Always love some alchemy. That's a guy. That's a, okay, you know what? Let's just preemptively get hot women going. Oh, okay. I just wanted to pick mushrooms. I'm literally just a little girl picking mushrooms. Is it for it? It's super early. That's the thing is I feel like I have done this before, but I haven't done like a committed Legacy run in a really long time. You know what I mean? Like I haven't committed to Legacy of the Dragonborn in a long time. It's always been like a passive thing, whereas now I'm committing to it. You know what I mean? But I'm glad I'm committing to it. I think I did do a committed Legacy run, but it was like, it was before I was streaming, low-key. Like, it was long before I started streaming, so it's been a long time. But I do really like Legacy, and I'm glad I finally, like, I don't know, like I said, I used to always do, like, really short Skyrim playthroughs, just to center around, like, different themes and stuff. And, like, that was also my thought, is, like, I love having, like, stories with my characters. And the thing is with Legacy of the Dragonborn is you have to, like, do everything. You know what I mean? But there were some characters where it's, like, it didn't make sense for them to do everything. You know what I mean? Hi, Faye. So with Vanya, a character whose whole shtick is she's a researcher who's willing to usurp her morals to learn more about magic and put herself in weird situations to learn more about the world around her, it felt like it kind of fit for her to be my legacy character. So this is like the longest like playthrough we've had in a really long time. We've done 20 streams of it, I believe. So like, I'm glad we're doing it though, because again, I do really enjoy it a whole lot. Can I just no? I fucked that up with my ingredients, but that's okay. Let's get some quick sauce with alchemy. My strat for alchemy is I just press buttons and see if it makes a potion. It works very well for me, usually. Aw, thank you, Vader. I appreciate it. That's the thing, is it's like, I honestly could be really happy just doing this Skyrim stream, or doing this Skyrim playthrough for, like, an entire month, and just only streaming it. I will say, though, I have enjoyed our, like, little, like, just chatting streams a lot lately. Those have been really fun, and I do want to keep doing those, but, like, I don't know. I don't really, like... And I think also, part of it could be because I've been like, I'm not gonna go like too deep into it. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer. But I have been really stressed with like work stuff lately, all the tax shit. If you're in the Discord, you know I've been struggling with taxes as a small business owner. But that's the thing, is I feel like for me, it's like, whenever, like, if you see me streaming a lot of Skyrim, it's because I'm stressed. Like, this is very much a comfort game for me. And even when I'm not stressed, though, it's like, it just always makes me happy. Also, why is clairvoyance draining my health? That's not supposed to do that. That's not supposed to... not supposed to do that, but alright. Let's see. Let me actually quick save real quick, too. Alchemy is like money laundering. It kind of is. It's just free sauce, you know? Wait, there's a guy over there. Oh, shit. Okay, he's gonna hit me. Guys, don't let him hit me. I'm a baby. Don't let him hit me. I have like 2 HP. Okay, I'm not a baby, actually. I need to steal your blood. Thank you. Girlie's gonna like... Well, she's not a vampire. She's using her own blood. Not sucking blood. She's using her own blood to deal damage. And then healing off of others when it's convenient. You know? Alright, come on. Here, just die. Die. Stop. Stop. There we go. Thank you. Okay. Very cool. Let's see. Any other bones for me to steal? Oh, I love stealing bones. Let's see. You probably. Let me see. What is going? I can't fucking see shit. I love realistic lighting mods. Yeah, see, it's using my fucking health for normal ass spells. That's not okay. I feel like, oh, whoopsie. Yeah, she's very much just like, haha, thank you for your bones. Oh, man, where'd you get all those bones for your research? I'm just a silly guy. She's just so silly, you know? Like, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, thank you, Faye. I appreciate that. I love my VTuber. And I'm not sure if you're talking about my VTuber or my Skyrim character, but I love both of them very, very much.
Yeah,
Let me see. Here, can I?
You're not worth it to put in my record, so goodbye.
Oh, damn, she told him. Can we go? Scritch, I love you, but you're blocking the way with your fat ass. It might have to do with having a blood spell in one hand and a normal in another. That's probably it. Bro, are you gonna move? That's my dog, by the way. He just doesn't want to move. Okay, stop healing yourself. That's cheating. You can't do that. That's cheating. That's cheating. You can't do that. Can't do that. Not around here. No. Run away. Or stop running away. I need to kill you. Thank you. That's a fine looking dog. Don't be mean. He's just, a special breed. Oh, shit. Help me. I need to, switching to your pistol is faster than reloading. Okay, please don't. Okay, I think you're right. If I need to, like, heal myself normally, I'm just gonna go to put it on both. Okay. Alright, switching to your pistol is faster than reloading. Okay, I think we're good. Did you have any goodies? Ooh, a skull. Yippee. Okay. Whenever I need to get bones for stuff, skulls are always the hardest to find. So anytime I find a skull... Oh, shit, he hits hard. But anytime I find a skull, it's a real treat, you know? Alright, let's see. Right hand, right leg. Cool. Is that everybody? I think we got them all. Okay, perfect. Let's see. Why not Keybind your favorite? This is my favorite, but oh yeah, I can do that. I always forget I can do that. Let's do. Well, that's the groups. I don't remember how to do that actually, because I have it as my favorites. Do you mean favorite Overwatch? I haven't played Overwatch in a long time, but when I did play Overwatch, okay, one of these fuckers probably has a key. When I did play Overwatch, I mostly played a lot of Mercy and D.Va because I like being annoying. Like, I was kind of insufferable when I played Overwatch in the sense that I would play D.Va, and then I would just spam the fucking Happy Halloween voice line where she's like, Happy Halloween, Happy Halloween. I just like being annoying in games like that. Same thing with League. When I play League, I'm not there to have a good time. I'm there to ruin your life. And if that means I'm taking Seraphine bot lane as an AD carry and spamming her all of her fucking voice lines and laughing the whole time, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so this needs to be... At least we have some books. Just pressing number 1 to 8 in the favorite menu. Oh, okay, so if I hover this... Oh! I swear, I played this game for so fucking long. I learned something new literally every day. So let's do that. Fast healing we use a lot. Long stride we use a lot. And actually, let's make this one, and then long stride will be 6. And then we'll do icy spike as 7, because spear still takes a lot of mana. Okay, that sounds good. So what did I make fast healing for? Okay. Cool beans. So, do any of you have a key? Because I don't see that. Let's see. I don't see any keys on the dead bodies. Am I dumb? Am I stupid? It's always a possibility, really. I don't see a key anywhere, but that's what I'm thinking it has to be. You know? Nothing up here, right? Yeah, no key. No key. That's the thing is, I gotta get through that door. But I'm not crazy, right? I don't see a key in here or a way to unlock it unless I'm missing something, but I don't think I am. It's not a crazy complicated room. Yeah, nothing in here? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe someone's supposed to have the key on them or something, but we're just gonna do one of these moves. We're just gonna... Yep. It's fine. No, I get you though, Leo. That's why I stopped playing competitive League, because it was the same thing. I used to be really competitive with League, and it just wasn't worth the stress of it, you know? So I just kind of gave up on it, you know? I just kind of was like, whatever. I still play League, and I enjoy League a lot, but I only play it for fun now. And that's, you know, I think that was for the best. All right, what was my thing for fucking Candlelight? Oh, I didn't put a binding on Candlelight. Let's put that on 8. There we go. Yeah, I think you're right. It is if we have another blood spell. Okay. Is he over here? Let's quick save real quick, actually. Because actually, no. Now that we're here, now I do remember this. I do remember this. Yeah, because he kicked my fucking ass. Now I remember it.
Expected to have seen you here, Jalal. Usually you send your lackeys to do your dirty work.
Why not use Hunterborn? I'm wondering, I don't think I have Hunterborn, but that's a good one actually. Because the one thing I have is it's based off Ordinator, right? And basically what I do is I gather skeletons and they let me turn them into skeleton soldiers. But that might be a good thing to get into. I think I used that in a different playthrough. I know you guys are dueling it out, but can I excuse me. His cape's really cool.
And I want you out of it.
By the way, isn't it time for dinner yet?
Fucking recorder! He is having a tense moment reuniting with his brother. Can you chill for 1 second? We will go to McDonald's. Also, KY, thank you so much for the YouTube sub. We will get the McDonald's.
What I did.
Fuck.
What we did. And that life in Hammerfell, no longer
She
has
really
any
does not
meaning
know
to
the
me,
time or
but a vast
place.
regret.
Hey, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to my keybinds, but that's
Well,
okay.
my brother, that is sad to hear.
I'm gonna quick save again because
If we
they're
are
really,
truly no longer brothers,
they really
I
are
cannot
yapping.
convince you to rejoin me. Then I have no other choice but to end you.
Ooh,
Farewell.
but to end you. His voice got really deep there. All right, let's do one of these moves. Oh, yeah. Oh my God, he's level 85, but that's okay because we are cooking him.
Just die.
We are cooking him. Oh my God, look at that. I might actually need to go. Actually, no, I think we're fine. I was afraid I was gonna need to like start healing my my party, but they are just going in on him, and I'm just getting the blood points. Hell yeah! All right, get out of here, bestie. Nope. Okay, he's dead. All right, cool. Find the remaining stolen artifacts. No, you can do that. All right, thankfully, these aren't too bad. Get him out of here. And then, what we need? Blood drain. Or not blood drain. This one. Okay, that's the thing. Is the one does do a lot of damage, but does heal me. So that works out. Okay. Alright, I think we got most of them. Let me make sure. Ooh, skull. Let's go. Yeah, if it's nighttime when we leave, we might be able to get some people. Get our skellies back going. Key. Shrouded hood. I'll take that. Scimitar. I'll take that. I really thought he'd have better loot. Although there's probably better loot elsewhere, if I'm being honest. Alright, let's see. Thank you, recorder. Very cool. Let's see. Yeah, there's our little hidden doorway. Where's the thing to open it, though? That's the question. Because I see that. Here, let's chain next to the door. So it's probably not that door. It's probably the other one. Okay. Let's see. Boink. Let's see. I need my fucking what's it called? Boink. There we go. Because I can't see shit. There we go. Oh, I don't want your shoes. I want your rib cage. God damn it. Okay, there we go. Oh, I see it now. Yeah, it was dark. Okay, there we go. Alright, what race are you playing as? I think we just did Imperial. We're kind of basic right now, but that's okay. How you doing, Corin? I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there. Alright. What? Thought I heard something.
It was my straw, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Alright, we got our goodies back. And now we got some loot. It's not the greatest loot, but it's loot nonetheless. So we take those. Alright, Scritch, can you move, buddy? Alright, can you Bro, I gotta get by. Can I, buddy? There we go. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have the key, I thought, but maybe I thought wrong. I'm pretty sure I took the key. Oh, that's right. I have to talk to him first, maybe. That could be part of it. Let me see. Please stop backseating me. Please give me 2 seconds to figure it out. Okay, where is he at? Alright. Hello! Sorry we killed your brother. That shit was crazy. I recovered the last of the artifacts, though. Can you let me click on it? Hello? Oh, maybe maybe he, like, needs a minute. I recovered the last of the artifacts. I recovered the last of the artifacts. Bro, are you good? Bro? He's really just humming. Okay. I am hitting enter. What do you think this is? I'm trying. F5, F9. Okay. Whoop. I don't want to look at your crotch. That's the wrong button.
I can see you.
Yep. Can you talk to me? Let's do that real quick. Okay. There we go. It broke my model, but that's okay. There we go. Okay.
Fantastic. I'm sorry, Jalal.
There we go. Thank you for the yeet. So he was your brother?
Yes. We grew up in Hammerfell together.
No, that was me smashing the enter button, I assure you.
We had to do what we needed.
I get my regular
to
model
get
outfit
by.
back, though?
And so we
Maybe
turned
not.
to
That's okay.
petty robbery and cons. It wasn't until we began to kill in the course of our actions that I even began to question.
You get an
it.
achievement if you forgive him.
Jalal
Ooh.
was always very persuasive.
The game rewarding me for
Getting
being a
me to
good
believe what
person?
we were doing
No!
was
I don't
always
want that!
I suppose that younger brothers are always prone to look up to their elder brothers.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'm going to stay behind and take some time to bury my brother. Then I'll return to the museum and face my punishment.
You know, actually, yeah, we did have to. Thank you so much for the follow. I guess I can keep girl boss. We did have you kill your brother, so and we got all our stuff back, so you're good.
Thank you.
You're fine. You're good. I think.
So virtuous.
I'm telling you, it's the same thing that like.
In a few days.
I think I talked about this on stream Wednesday, but like, or maybe I didn't. I don't remember. But like, I saw this. Here, this thing. Let me change my model because my model being fucked up is gonna bother me. I saw this weird. Do you ever get like things in your Twitter recommended where you're like, why is this? Why is this being recommended to me? Yes, no legs, hee hee. But one of the things I saw on my Twitter recommended, it was about how Gypsy Rose Blanchard, she had a pretty notorious murder case related to her, where she was like put in prison because her mom was abusive, and she had her boyfriend kill her mom for her, right? Fucked up situation. But apparently, she, like, got out of prison, and she was on TikTok, and a bunch of people were, like, yelling at her. Like, she was in prison for, like, 10 years, but a bunch of people were yelling at her, and they were like, girl, you need to take accountability, and it's like, I think she took accountability. Like, I think she's good. Like, that, I don't know why, but that's what that reminded me of. It's like, I think we're good. I think you took accountability. You killed your brother for stealing. Well, yeah, we let him kill his brother. His brother was trying to kill. To be fair, his brother started it and was like, well, then I can't let you live. It's like, okay, that's fine, but I'm not just gonna take that. Yeah, that's the whole point of a prison sentence. Like, is that not like taking accountability to the utmost degree? 10 years to kill it. So she didn't like actually kill. There's a lot of like really good YouTube video essays if you're like into that kind of thing. But basically, she didn't do the killing. She asked her boyfriend at the time to kill her mom. She's from your town? That's gotta be crazy. That's gotta be wild with how the public has responded, you know? The sentence wasn't enough, but that's a different discussion. That's the thing is, like, you can argue that kind of stuff all day, you know? Some people think she shouldn't have been charged at all because she was a victim of abuse. Some people think she shouldn't have been let out at all, you know? Everyone's got an opinion on that, but, like, regardless of the opinion, she was given her time and she served it. She did do the accountability. You can kill 8 people. Fucking doing the long division of, like, It's like the most fucked up word problem in the sentence. If you get 10 years for killing one person and your life expectancy is 80 years old, how many people can you kill? Explain your answer in the space below. Like, damn. Damn. I don't know. I remember the way they teach math these days is like crazy to me, to elementary school kids. Like I mentioned earlier, I used to be a school teacher. I was a band director, right? I never did like English or math or anything like that. I taught elementary band and orchestra, which was fun until it wasn't, you know. But I remember one of my kids came in one time, like before school started, and she was like, "Miss, can you help me with my math homework?" And I'm thinking like, "Yeah, you're in 5th grade, of course I can." I was like, "Sure. What's up?" And she hands me her homework, and it was like,
You managed
I don't know how to explain it, but they had them doing like, it was like they wouldn't do, it was like long division, right? Or maybe it was multiplication, I don't remember. This was like a few years ago. But they had them like, instead of writing it out, they had them doing like grids, right? And I was like, I don't know what the fuck this is. So I just wrote it out and I was like, well, you could do this, right? And she was like, no. We're not supposed to do it that way. Because we need to show all of our work. And I was like, well, yeah, this is all the work. I like wrote it out for you. And she's like, no. We need to show every step. That's what the box is for, Miss Evie. I was like, but what? It was weird. I was like, okay. But it made no damn sense to me. I was like, damn, okay. All right, so I guess we gotta give Arian some time. So we still can't get our beaten stick quite yet, but that's okay. We'll find something else to do. Props to the boyfriend. He heard murder of abusive parent, was like, when and where? Why didn't he just Google it? I don't know. A lot of these, I mean, I guess he could have, but this is elementary school. They didn't know how to use stuff like photo math or things like that, which is good. It is kind of sad how, like, I don't know if you guys have, like, been on this side of TikTok, but there is, like, certainly a literacy crisis. My 4 years of college could not, because I worked in public schools for, like, 2.5 years. Nothing could have prepared me for, like, first day of school, getting my, like, little get-to-know-you assignment together, and then a bunch of kids being like, I don't know how to read, right? And at first I thought they were, like, bullshitting me. You know, just saying, like, that to get out of it. But it was like, I asked other teachers, like, no, they don't know how to read. And I'm like, what? I was like, oh, like, I'm laughing, but it is fucked, you know? Like, it's kind of, oh my god, excuse me, holy shit. But it's kind of scary, you know? Like, I don't know, when I was in 5th grade, I was reading, 5th graders are, like, 10 or 11 years old, depending on when they're born. But when I was in 5th grade, I was reading all the time. I was doing everything. I was reading as much as I could, you know? But I don't know. It's kind of concerning. So, you know. But that's the thing is, it's like, I didn't want to seem like I was trying to, like, give up. But it's like, they would tell me, they're like, oh, you need to incorporate literacy into your lessons. And it's like, how can I incorporate, like, this is part of why I left public school, deadass. And there was a lot of reasons. But, like, they'd be like, oh, well, you need to incorporate reading into your lessons. Like, how can I incorporate some reading when they don't know how to read, period, right? So, like, if I gave them, like, a research project, I would have to, like, pre-print and this is, again, 9, 10, 11 years old, you know. I would have to pre-print the articles. They couldn't, like, find stuff on their own, you know. And I would have to sit there and read them out loud. And, of course, this wasn't all kids, right? But it was a large amount. I would say probably about, like, 30-40% just could not read at all. Whereas there were some that were on or above reading level. But the majority were, like, 1st or 2nd grade reading level. You know? That's kind of where we were at. Which was... But that's the thing is I'm like... it felt kind of shitty for a while because it felt like I was, like, just, like, giving up. But it's like, what do you do? You know, I'm not a reading teacher. Like, I know how to incorporate literacy into lessons, but I can't teach you how to read. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't realize that, like, that shit's hard, you know? Like, I think people see, like, all kinds of stuff of, like, people in college, like, the elementary ed majors doing, like, the little, like, arts and crafts and stuff, and they're like, oh my god, I'm an easy major. It's like, yeah, that stuff's fun, right? But they're not teaching, the idea there isn't teaching you how to do arts and crafts. You can figure out how to do arts and crafts. It's how to make it interesting, how to engage with students, how to talk to students, how to tie fun activities back to real-world applications, right? Sure, it could just be cutting out snowflakes, right? But if you're working with kindergartners, you know, you're teaching them how to not get a paper cut. You're teaching them how to hold scissors. You're teaching them how to follow directions, right? So it's not just about the cute little craft. It's about how you're explaining it, how you're conducting it, right? And how you're making it clear to them that this is important, you know? But I don't know, man. Teaching, but part of what they learned because my sister's trying to be a teacher. My sister's a freshman in college, and she wants to be a teacher. And, like, I try to kind of hold my tongue because she'll ask me things and I don't want to discourage her, you know, but it's also like I don't want to lie to her either, you know, and she actually did get a substitute teaching job. So she's not like going in blind, you know what I mean? Like she is getting experience. She does know kind of how it's like in a way, you know, But, also, we're looking for the Elder Scroll. And maybe heading to Winterhold. I don't think we've been to Winterhold yet. We could start College of Winterhold, probably. That would be fun. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, it's rough, you know? And sometimes I feel like a quitter for quitting teaching, low-key. But it's one of those things where it's like, I feel guilty, like, saying it, but like, dude, I'm so much happier now that I don't work at a school. And like, I feel bad, but like, it is what it is, you know? And it's like, yeah, I want to make a difference, and yeah, I'm willing to sacrifice a lot to do it, but it got to a point where it's like, my health was suffering, you know? My doctor literally told me, they're like, you need to get your stress level down. You are at risk of developing heart disease at 21 years old. And I'm like, ow! And I asked them, I was like, why am I so stressed? I don't understand. And they're like, what do you do for a living? I'm like, oh, I'm a teacher. And they're like, that's probably it. And I was like, oh, okay. Alrighty. Thank you, Vanya, for your big head getting in the way, by the way. But yeah, a lot of parents just don't read to their kids anymore. A lot of parents have the mentality of, that's your job. You do it. You figure it out. And it's like, okay, we'll teach them, but, you know, reading's a skill. It needs to be practiced. It needs to be reinforced. And if, you know, parents reading to their kids makes such a, holy shit, we can see your face, but it makes such a big difference, you know? And I get that there's a lot of parents working 2 or 3 jobs. It's hard, you know? But like, even just 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, you know, before they go to bed, of reading to them can make such a big difference, you know? So same with my grandpa had, and he only made it to 8th grade because I didn't bother teaching him how to read. That's my other thing too, is it's like, I don't want to get like too political, but it's kind of hard not to get political when you're talking about education, you know? People want to quit their job, they just need to see a doctor. I mean, I will be real, it was like, I was having like nightly panic attacks. Like, I think there was one point where I didn't sleep or eat for like 3 days because the stress was so bad. And then I passed out and threw up at the doctor, and they wrote me a letter to get me out of 3 days of school. And she's like, I want you to take these 3 days to rest up and get a plan. Because she was like, you cannot stay here. So I owe that doctor my life. But yeah, it's brutal out there, you know? Talking to my family are viewed as trained as teachers. My dad was a teacher. The system in New Zealand. Yeah, I'm not in New Zealand. I'm in America, but it's rough, you know? It's rough, you know? Yeah, we're good now, though, you know? And again, my life is a lot better, and I feel guilty saying it. I feel like it's weird. It's almost like survivor's guilt in a way, where it's like I think about my friends that are still in schools. I worry for my sister getting into a school, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, you know, I don't, but that's the thing, is I'm gonna let her do her thing, you know, and because she might have a very different experience than I did, you know, and I hope she does, because my experience was objectively kind of mid. So, you know, we'll see. These kids probably have cell phones. They essentially have an entire library in their pocket all the time, but they can't read. Yes. So, like, one other thing that's a big problem is computer literacy. All they know is apps. Kids don't know how to find a C drive on a computer. Kids don't know how to open a Word document. I don't want to... Okay.
If you can pass the test.
Let me pass the test.
I'm afraid I don't know.
I'll take your test.
Oh,
Firebolt? I don't think I know Firebolt.
No.
Yeah,
or
sure.
You can try
Here you
your
go.
luck with one of the... Here you are. Now I'm anxious to see you cast it.
Okay. Let's see if I can do Firebolt real quick. Just real quick. Do you want me to just, bonk?
This is all it takes to join the
Fucking listen to this is all it takes?
To the college.
Yeah, it looks like it, but yeah, you know, it's whack out there, you know, and I want things to get better, and I hope things get better, but I'm not gonna kill myself waiting around to see if they do, you know. I'm 23, right? The way I see it is I got my whole life ahead of me. I don't want to be rotting away for the next 20 years, you know, like that's the thing, is when I was teaching, it felt like I was just surviving, you know, just I would literally like come home, go to bed, wake up, eat, go back to bed when it was really, really bad. I like stopped streaming for like a year. And it got a little bit better when I quit one of my schools I used to work at 2 schools now, and then I only worked at one. It got a little bit better, but it still wasn't great, you know? Whereas now it feels like I'm not just surviving, I'm actually living, if that makes sense. I can enjoy things again. I find enjoyment in my life, you know? That's a naked woman. I enjoy that quite a lot. But like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's the tea, you know? Life is too short. And that doesn't mean if your job is mid, just quit with no backup plan. I'm not advocating for that, you know. But if you can find another job, you know, if your job sucks, and of course it's hard right now, you know, job market is brutal right now, you know. But like, I don't know, you know. I hope if you are in a job you hate, you can find something better. And I know it's rough, you know, but I believe in you, okay? Life is too short, and it may not come today, tomorrow, a month from now, or even a year from now, but it will come eventually. You know? That's my wisdom of the day.
Require assistance.
Yeah, I need to find an Elder Scroll.
And what do you plan to do with it? Do you even know what you're asking about? Or are you just someone's errand girl?
That feels vaguely sexist. Of course I do. Do you have one here? Yes or no?
You think that even if I did have one here, I would let you see it? It would be kept
Probably
under
not.
the highest security. The greatest thief in the world wouldn't be able to lay a finger on it.
Why did he get like all gruff there? Did you hear that? He was like, lay a finger on it. What about the Dragonborn?
What about? Wait, are you?
Yeah.
Were you the one the Greybeards were calling?
Mm-hmm.
I'll bring everything we have on them. But it's not much. So don't get your hopes up. It's mostly lies, leavened with rumor and conjecture.
Okay. There might be, the special books might be a display thing, so we'll ask about that too.
As a matter of fact, there are. Have you ever?
Because now that we're here, we may as well start College of Winterhold, because like, we're here. I know we're gonna need to do it. There's another quest I've been putting off because I wanted to wait till we started College of Winterhold to do it. So we're here. Might as well do College of Winterhold things.
More than you would imagine possible.
Oh.
Since then, his writings have been scattered all over Skyrim, but are little use to anyone who can't translate them. I'm one of the few who can.
Oh wow,
I've heard
good for you.
Of more of his work having turned up. If you can track it down, it may prove useful to all of us.
Okay. Any college business I can assist with?
If you're feeling adventurous, I'm always looking for someone to procure valuable books from some more dangerous locations.
Yeah, I can do that. Easy peasy.
Well, all right, here. I scribbled down the last place I'd heard about. Check it out, but be careful.
Mind if you introduce all your followers? Hell yeah! So, here's who we got if you are new in town. So we got my dog, Scritch. Say hi, Scritch. Okay, he doesn't want to say hi. That's okay. We got Recorder.
What's up?
She is, insane. Let's talk to her for a bit.
Of course. What did you want to talk about?
Why do you keep talking to yourself about records?
Oh yeah, that. I guess I should explain. I record the events that happen on the Dragonborn, your adventures, and keep everything in these files to make sure I get the story right.
Okay,
As for the
I respect
talking,
that.
Well, just think of it as me keeping mental notes. I don't think Skyrim features voice recorders, so you wouldn't understand.
Okay, so that's Recorder.
Good talk, team.
Yeah, this is Lucian.
I don't think Lydia likes me.
I love him so much. Like with the armor, he looks so scary. Like, he's such a sweetie pie. Why don't you think Lydia likes you? What do you know about Elder Scrolls?
Not as much as I wish I did. They used to keep them at White Gold Tower, where I studied for a while. They had a library of them there.
Ah, okay.
30 years ago, we'd have hopped across the border, marched up to the Imperial City, and borrowed the one we needed.
Oh.
They'd have resisted, of course, but we could always have pinched it when they weren't looking. It's been done before.
I love him so much. Why not now?
They haven't got any anymore. A few years before I was born, they all vanished from the archives. Gods only know how and why. But they're like that, the scrolls. They have a will of their own. My father always used to say that. He worked with them for a while.
But what actually are they? We have not done Dawnguard yet, no, but it is on my list. Since this is a Legacy of the Dragonborn playthrough, we are going to try to do everything.
Weird. Sometimes they tell you the future, and sometimes they tell you the past. And sometimes they drive you mad.
Oh.
The people at the College of Winterhold might have an answer that's more helpful for our purposes. Why don't we go and ask them?
Well, I've got some great fucking news for you, my guy. Guess where we are? So that's Elysian. Where's Lydia? Lydia is also one of my followers, but she tends to... Flesh Colossus! I forgot I downloaded Flesh Colossus. Oh, we need to go cause some problems. I want to see what the Flesh Colossus looks like. But anyway, here's Inigo.
Yes, my friend.
He is also a sweetheart. Any thoughts, buddy?
I've read most of these books already. I don't remember what they're about, but I've definitely read them.
Good for you. Any other thoughts?
It doesn't matter how long I spend here. I will never master magic of any kind.
Aw, that's okay. Any other thoughts?
No. Right now, my mind is a dried-up riverbed.
I love him so much. I want to pet his head. And here
I am here
is Lydia. Just having a sit. But I mean, let him read the Elder Scroll. I mean, we can try once we get it.
I've got your back.
How you doing? The only dialogue option we have for her is if we want to try to fuck her, and I don't want to do that this playthrough. We have been there, done that, so to speak. Is there any books here I don't have? It looks like or at least books that I would need for the wait, what? Oh, I want that rock. I want that rock real bad for my museum. What if I just can I just take a look at it?
Careful with that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it.
I wonder how that works.
I'm just looking at it.
Notes will explain.
I'm just looking at it. 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 You don't have Ori with you? I don't think we have her mod installed, but I've heard really good things about it, so I might take a look into it. Oh, can I borrow that? Can I? Not that one.
What are you doing?
Inigo, shut the fuck up! I need to borrow it. Let me just borrow, what? Oh my god, wait, where'd my book go? Can I just borrow, fuck. Just trying to borrow a book real quick. Where'd it fucking go? You don't see me. No one sees me. Aha! Okay. I just really like books, okay? I'm willing to risk it all for some books. Okay, anything else I can steal, borrow? Let's see, looks like we're all good for the most part. I'll do an Israel. I guess so. Okay. Well, let's talk to him again.
I don't want to see you treating any of these books poorly. Are we clear?
I know. Let's see. It says that I already talked to him. What do I still need to do? I guess that's just a...
Fight well. Hundreds
Did
of
he
years
not?
have
Did I
gone
accidentally
into
close
assembling
this shit too
collection.
fast? I
And
might
what do
have,
you plan
actually.
to do with it?
Let me do this.
An elder to read it.
La 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 la.
The divines usually take
Do you have
the
one I could
reader.
use?
Ah,
No.
you think that even
There we
it
go.
would
Back
be
to that
kept
one.
under
La,
the
la, la,
highest
la.
security?
Do you have any information?
The
I need to
greatest
find
thief
one
in
was
the
told you could
world.
help.
I don't know who told
There
you
we go.
that, but
Somebody
I'll
lovers
do what I
last
can.
bot. Oh
I
no!
do have plenty of books. I'll bring everything we have on them, but it's not much.
That's what I thought he was gonna
So
do.
don't get your hopes up. It's mostly lies, leavened with rumor and conjecture.
Yeah, did he bring him out?
Fight well.
Let's see. That one doesn't give me an option to... Here we go. Rumination of the Elder Scrolls. Ah, okay, now I can take these. Okay, here we go. Rumination of the Elder Scrolls. There we go! Okay, cool. Now, let's see. We found an insane book. What was the insane book? I didn't really... I didn't really look at them. Was this the insane one? Not quite. It doesn't look like it. Wasn't there another one that was like, Oh, well, that's okay. Hey.
You need a book? You talk to me.
The
Otherwise you're
Ruminations
going to
book
find
is
yourself in
a
a
little
lot of pain.
incomprehensible, bud.
Aye, that's the work of Septimus Cygnus. He's the world's master of the nature of Elder Scrolls. But, well, he's
Well.
been gone for a long while. Too
Like he's
long.
dead or he's missing or both? He's dead?
Oh no, I hope not. But even I haven't seen him in years. And we were close. Became obsessed with the Dwemer.
Ew.
Took off north saying he had found some old artifact. Haven't seen him since.
Imagine being obsessed with the
Somewhere in
Dwemer. I
ice
hate the
fields,
Dwemer.
If you want to try to find him.
Okay. Well, now we know who to find. We have some more books. There's something else I wanted to do. Right, I want to fight somebody. Because something we got... I don't know if you noticed this. Oh, we can't have Dragon's... Oh, we already have Dragon's Soul Shift. But a new little funky spell we got was Conjure Flesh Colossus. And I want to see what that looks like because it sounds horrifying, but it sounds right up Vanya's alley. I want to know what's going on with that. Hi, Kola. Let's see. Alright, and I should probably do first lessons, but I really... Because it's going to give me the tour of the college. I know, I don't want a tour of the college right now. I want to summon an ungodly flesh creature. That is what I want to do. Are we winning? I think so. I think we're doing okay. Well, that's the thing. It's just even... I will literally do this off stream. Like... I don't want to do the college quest. I really don't. We'll do that. We'll do that later. I don't think there's anything weird about it. You can be an orc and be interested in magic. One of my favorite characters was an orc interested in magic and research and stuff. So let's see. Where do we need to go? Where is the closest thing here? Alright, it looks like we gotta go to the ocean. So I guess, do I just yeet myself down there? Do you think if I, like... Okay, place your bets now, okay? If I jump from here, do you think I'll make it into the water? Because, like, I think I could. Like, I think I could. Let's try it. I just saved. It's okay. If I make this, I will yell. Let's see what happens. Okay, are you ready? Alright. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, go, go, go on! Let's go! Okay. Alrighty. Now we've found... Are they gonna... Well, you... Oh, I guess so. Everyone's a bad bitch. Let's go, Lydia. Alright, who's next? Come on. Come on. Is Lydia the only person here that's not a coward? I guess... Also, side note, this is, like, unrelated. The bottom of the water looks really pretty. Anyone else? Oh, Inigo? Or no, that's Lucian. Let's go. Let's go. Usually they don't actually jump. They just kind of spawn in next to you once you get too far from them. But I like to think that they just had to, like, work up the courage to do it themselves. You know? But that's okay. Let's see. Oh, can I get up here? Thank you, Lydia. I'm proud of us, too. Even if you're kind of rude to me sometimes. But that's okay. Alright, I want to fight someone. I want to see what this Flesh Colossus looks like. I want to wait until we're fighting someone because I want to see him. I want to see him in action. You know what I mean? I also like the idea that his presence might traumatize someone. That sounds fun. So we'll see what happens. Let's actually do this real quick. Oh shit. Okay, that's... Okay, we're good now, but I did have a blood spell in my hand, so it got a little silly for a second. Actually, how many blood points do we have? We need 200? Oh shit, hold up. We can get another blood point. Oh, can I put diseases on people now? Yippee! Okay, diseases, diseases, diseases! Awesome. Okay, blood pressure. I do want that one eventually. I mean, I can just get all of these at some point. Gargoyles you revive are stronger in scale up to level 60. Craft a gargoyle self for 20. I don't know how the gargoyle thing works yet, though. That is another thing I would like to figure out at some point, but I don't know. I don't really know how that works, but that's okay. All right, let's head over here. We're getting closer, but I think we can get a little bit further. That's the thing is, like, I know we need to do College of Winterhold. I am really convinced of starting it at least off stream, just because the little, like, tour Mirabelle takes you on is the most annoying thing on the goddamn planet to me, because she walks so slowly. Is it gonna be smelly? God, I hope so. I just don't want to deal with it. You know what I mean? I genuinely might do that off stream, and then we'll come back and be like, okay, we've got it started. Let's go. I mean, I kind of you guys want, but it's so boring. It's so boring. Alright, so thankfully, we're okay. Alright, let's see. Keep Scritch? Excuse me. There we go. Alright, hello? Hi! What's up? Well, this music kind of goes hard.
And rise to your depth.
I love music boxes. Also, what the fuck was that?
Elder Scrolls, indeed. The Empire. They absconded with them. Or so they think. The ones they saw. The ones they thought they saw. I know of one. Forgotten. Sequestered. But I cannot go to it. Not poor Septimus. For I have arisen beyond its grasp.
Yeah, bud. You good?
Oh, I am well. I will be well.
Do you see Lucian doing a little dance in the background, by the way?
Inside the walls.
He is very dark right now, but that's okay. Where is the scroll?
Here. Well, here as in this plain. Mundus. Tamriel. Nearby.
Nearby. Okay, great.
On the cosmological scale.
That music box is kind of loud. Is that like just playing nearby? Yeah, can you help me or not?
One block lifts the other. Septimus will give
like, it sounds cool, but I'm like, what? I don't remember that. What do you want?
You see this masterwork of the Dwemer, deep inside their greatest knowings. Septimus is clever among men, but he is but an idiot child compared to the dullest of the Dwemer. Lucky then they left behind their own way of reading the Elder Scrolls. In the depths of Black Reach, one yet lies. Have you heard of Black Reach?
No.
Cast upon where Drimmer City slept, the yearning spire hidden learnings kept.
Where is it?
Under deep, below the dark, the hidden keep. Tower Mazar.
Okay, we got there.
Ovtan, the point of
we got there
puncture,
eventually.
A first entry of the tapping. Delve to its
the music's
limits,
finally fading out.
Black Reach lies just beyond. But not all can enter there. Only Septimus knows the hidden key to loose the lock, to jump beneath the deathly rock.
Okay, how do I get in?
Two things I have for you. Two shapes. One edged, one round.
A sword and a big hitting stick.
The round one for tuning.
Oh.
Dwemer music is soft and subtle, and needed to open their cleverest gates. The edged lexicon for inscribing. To us, a hunk of metal. To the Dwemer, a full library of knowings, but empty. Find Mazark and its sky dome. The machinations there will read the scroll and lay the lore upon the cube. Trust Septimus. He knows you can know.
Okay. Well, that's fun. Well, we have a cube and we have a sphere. That's neat. What do I do with the sphere?
The deepest doors of Dwemer listen for singing. It plays the attitude of notes proper for opening. Can you not hear it?
No.
Too low for hearing?
No, I cannot. What about the cube?
To glimpse the world inside an Elder Scroll can damage the eyes.
Oh, yeah! Isn't that why he's crazy? Because he looked at the Elder Scroll? Or something like that?
The loophole, as they always do. To focus the knowledge away and inside without harm. Place the lexicon into their contraption and focus the knowledge.
Of course I visited Whiterun before. I have like 1,000 hours in this game. I do like Dragon's Reach though. Dragon's Reach is cool. Let's see. Alright, I think we should be cool. There's a lot happening down here. Where did you... Oh, okay, that's something. Alright, do you have any books I can take? Ha-ha! Books, 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 books. Anytime I see that little plus mark, I'm just like, fuck yeah. Okay, books. Books. Any more books? Books. Oh, that's a steel one. Shit. He's looking right at me, isn't he? Oh, but I want it. Let me just
My whiskers are freezing up.
do this real quick. Okay, any other ones to steal? Books, books, books. Do you get to the cloud? I really did just get, did you get to the cloud district very often? I feel like I'd rather get like a D's nuts joke rather than do you get to the cloud? Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Did you see that? I thought he was crazy because he looked at an Elder Scroll. Mans is just high off his shit. Did you see that 3 things of skooma? You know what? I respect it, but, this is mine now, by the way. Just so you know. This is, oh, where'd it go? That's mine. Okay. Thank you!
Big dweller in the beyond.
Yeah, okay.
I'll know your lost
Now,
and
let's
known,
see.
and
We'll
rise
get out of
to
here
your
now. But hopefully, I do want to check to see if the museum's okay. I don't think we have a ton of displays, although my carry weight is getting kind of high. So I think stopping by there should be good. I'm hoping the museum should be ready by then, though. You know? I'm hoping that now it should be okay. Let's see. Because I do want to drop my stuff off, and I kind of want to take a look. Because we just got, like, a fuck ton of books. And one of my favorite parts of the museum, unironically, is the library. And it looks like we also have some quests near Solitude, too. So we'll take a look over there. Okay. Alright. Let's take a look. But I want to get back in my museum. I don't even remember. I need to look up again the name of the stick I need. Because I had the weapon for the Anatomancer quest, and then I
like
oh,
this
whoopsie.
Lucian fellow, my friend.
Oh!
I have
He may look a little flimsy, but I think he is stronger than he knows.
Oh, no! That's so sweet. He started off by calling Lucian a weakling, and now he's saying that he might be stronger than he knows. That's very sweet. We love to see it, Inigo. Do you have the Bow of Shadow? I don't think so. Not yet, I don't think. The big quest lines we haven't done yet are Companions, Thieves Guild, and Dark Brotherhood. So, pretty much all of them. We've been doing a lot of, like, other side quests and quest mods. Okay. Is the museum not back in order yet? I'm assuming because there's still a dead body over there. I want my museum back. Alright, I guess we'll have to wait then. Let's go do something else. And then hopefully museum will be back soon. The dead body on the floor probably should have been a tell that we are not quite put back together yet. But we can head over here and see if we can find Shalador stuff. It's right over there. Yeah, we have 2 quests nearby that we can do here, so I think that should be fine. Let's see if we can find Shalador's writings, and we might just do the Data's Failing quest yet, but I don't know. We'll see. We might still hold off on it. I don't know. Are you a Master of Thieves Guild? We have not done the Thieves Guild quest yet. No. We have the start for it, but we haven't actually done it yet. So we need to be careful and just kind of walk around the Thalmor Embassy. Not towards the Thalmor Embassy, but just walk around it. I know I still have the blood spell in my hand, but honestly, I think if I'm just doing it to run around, we'll be okay. A respectful guy, just very direct sometimes. I like him a lot. I think he's a sweetie. I think he's a sweetheart. He means well. He does mean well, you know. Even if he's a little blunt, he has good intentions, you know. And I respect that. He is very cute though. I like him. I like Lucian a lot. I don't know. The thing is, like, I like Recorder. I've said before, I'll say it again. I just think she needs a lobotomy. Like, she just talks so much. And here's the thing, okay? I'd be fine with it if it weren't for the maniacal laughter. Like, it was funny the first, like, 3 times, but now I'm like, ma'am, this is a Wendy's. Also, I'm stuck in a fucking... Let me just do one of these moves real quick. Thank you. Sometimes you just gotta go through the rock. And that's okay. Yippee! Okay, cool. I remember this carriage thing. Who's over here? What's going on? Oh, those are my followers. Wasn't there like a... I thought maybe this isn't the place I went to before. Because I remember seeing a carriage in the middle of the road before. But I thought it was like a crash or something. So I don't know what's going on there, but... That's okay. We are close to Shalder's writings, though. So, I think... Because it is the Dina Valen quest that's also close to... Yeah, that one's close to Solitude. I mean, I guess we could do it, but I think... I know there was one quest I wanted to do, but we, like, had to wait for it. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if it was that one or another one, but... We'll take a look-see. So let's see if we can find the books and give them to the guy. And then maybe by the time we fast travel to Winterhold and back, our museum will be ready. Because that's the thing is, I just want to see if the museum's good now. I want my museum back. It brings me so much joy. Give it back. Okay. Let's see. Boop. Broken Ore Grotto. Okay, well, I guess it's in here. Hello? Anyone down here? Doesn't look like it. Alright, let's take a look-see. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of these quests I don't remember just because it's been a minute since I've done them. Alright. Oh, there's a guy up there. Hello, sir. Can I steal your blood? Oh, wrong button. Oh, I'm not in range of him yet. Okay. They're not very... Yeah. They're pretty babies, so I think this should be fine. There we go. Give me your soup. There we go. That one did a lot of damage.
This won't end well for you.
Okay, cool. Failure to capture Black Soul. Anything good? I don't think they'll have anything good other than bones. Once we do walk outside, it is nighttime, though. We are going to need to get more boners. And then we'll be okay. Let's see. Because that's the thing is, every time we've walked outside, it hasn't been nighttime. So I just kind of haven't bothered with it. But I do want to get my boner army back. Gold, lockpick, Eastern Daedric Katana. That sounds cool as hell, but... I know it doesn't have a display, but it does sound really fucking cool. Let's see. I don't know why this famous dude's writings would be... Well, I mean, they are bandits, so it makes sense they're being stolen. I love Serana. She's great. Serana's a hoot and a holler. Once we... I'm not sure when we're going to do that quest, honestly. Because that's the thing is, I think I'm going to do the way... It does look like College of Winterhold's going to be our next big quest line. We got started, like... We have, like, not as in we've done anything with it yet, but we, like, have the quest from Brynjolf. Oh, that's the kill animation. Or to meet with Brynjolf and do that kind of stuff. So, I don't know. I feel like Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood we might save for last. We also need to do the companion stuff, too. But that's, maybe we will do something else instead. Because we're going to do companions in our other playthrough, too. So, I'm not sure what would be best to start first. You know what I mean? That I'm not quite sure about yet. Because I don't want to do companions at the same time. You know what I mean? Like, if I have to do a one playthrough, I don't want to do it again. Same exact thing, another playthrough. Should I have a necklace to give her that makes her have less often commentary like Inigo has? Yeah, that would be perfect, honestly. Because I don't dislike her, and she's a good follower. It's just, sometimes it's just like, she's a lot, you know? She's got a lot going on. Oh, I'm going the wrong fucking way. Let me make sure I actually only have one quest enabled. Let's do that one. Bonk. Why did I still have that one? Where was it? It was the... Yeah, the Shalder's writings was over here, right? Yeah, there we go. Play mage now and then do the mage guild and call it a day. I mean, that's the thing is, my other character, my other playthrough is not a mage. So we are doing, aside from Legacy, she is Magic Center, whereas my other character doesn't do fuck shit with magic at all. He's just a fuck boy who likes to carry a sword. That's it. And you know what? That's okay. I think everyone should be allowed to be a fuck boy that carries a sword. Where's the little thing to make that go down? I think it might be on the other end. Oh wait, no, here we go, lever. Captain Harger. Alright, there we go. Let me in! Oh, it's time! It's time! Hold on. Where is he? Flesh Colossus. Oh yeah. Bring out my boy! Oh my god, he's disgusting. I love him. Oh my god, fuck it up. Fuck him up. Fuck him up. Oh, he does like no damage, but that's okay. he made me happy. That's all that matters. Oh wait, I can have 2 of them, can I? Yeah. Okay. Oh, look at him. Look at him. Oh, he's popping up. He's popping up. Okay. You love to see it. Oh, that's my boy. Okay, whoopsie. Alright, did we get them all? Oh, there's another one over there, but that's okay. There's the captain shit. Yeah, there she goes laughing again. Is he a mod? He is a mod. So I think if you just search Flesh Colossus, you'll find the mod on Nexus. Let me see. Okay, hi gaming. You ever play Elder Scrolls Online or considered a community game? And I have ESO. So I have tried to get into ESO because when I played ESO, I liked it. And one of my students, one of my VTuber students, her name's T, and she's really big into ESO, and she's partnered with ZeniMax. So she gave me a bunch of codes and stuff because I wanted to play ESO with her because it sounded like a lot of fun. But the thing is I wanted to make an account associated with not my real name. I wanted to make an account for my VTuber. And there was some problems transferring the account, so I need to contact Bethesda, or not Bethesda, I need to contact the support page for it, because I got in touch with them and they're like, oh, okay, so if we want to recover your account and transfer it, you just need to, because I was able to make the new account fine, but it wouldn't let me, like, get into the game, even with my new account, which was, like, weird. I think it's because, like, I bought ESO on one account, and then I made a new ESO account with the other email. But they were like, they asked me, they were like, okay, well, to verify your account, we need to give you, can you give us the name of your first character? And like, it was like 2020. I genuinely don't remember. So now David needs to reinstall ESO, and he just hasn't have time either. And see if he can get in and see the name of my character. Because I genuinely, like, I want to play it again. I genuinely do not remember my character's name at all. Because I do want to try it again. And I was talking to Tia about it, and she's like, all the VTubers I know play Final Fantasy 14, and I just want people to play ESO with me. I'm like, girl, I'll play ESO with you. I just need to get my shit together. So it's something I need to do. It's just been kind of on the bottom of my priority list with everything else going on. Okay, we do not need all this. What's be something you always use? It totally probably is, honestly. It's probably not going to be anything like spicy. It's probably going to be like very, very basic, you know? But, yeah, I need to find my stuff. I need to find, because I do want to play it. And she gave me codes for, like, a bunch of DLCs and stuff, too. And they look really fun. But it's like, man. Okay, I don't think I need the cave bear pelts, actually. I don't think there's a display specifically for the cave bear pelts. There might be for the horses, but not the ice wolves. Well, maybe there, is there a display for ice wolves? I don't know. Yeah, I love fucked up creatures. Vanya is like, she is the one for fucked up creatures. So if you have more fucked up creature recommendations, please send them my way. All right, any, ooh, book. Fuck yeah. Okay, let's go, book. Book. Any other cool books? No. Okay, let's see if we can find the captain's quarters, because I want that chest. Is this a good book? No. All right, let's see. Is that it? Because it said that was the key to his chest. There's no way that's it, right? Let's see. Because that seems kind of, I mean, it is a low-level dungeon, so it might be. His writings are down here. Let's see. Oh, whoops. I missed. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay, that's the chest. Okay. Shadow's Insights, Iron Dagger Fatigue. God damn it. And we'll take that. So let's get out of here. Hopefully unload my toad some. God, I hope the museum's back because I got shit I need to... Okay, why do I have this ancient hunting bow? It's not a display. I don't need it. Not a display. I don't need it. ESO isn't crossplay though? Aw, that sucks. I kind of want to disenchant that. This looks really cool. Like, I know this isn't a display, but like, it so should be. Look at that. That's cool as fuck. All right, it looks like we're good though, so I think we should be okay. So let's see if we can get the heck out of here, and then head on back. And God, please, Either let it be nighttime so I can get my skellies, or let me go to the museum. I just want to go to my museum. I miss my museum so much. Let me have this, please. Okay. How do I get out of here? Oh, shit. Oh, great. That's fine. It's fine. Let me just, although I think I actually can just swim across. Hold on. Oh, is that a dead body floating in the water? Oh, that's a dead body floating in the water. Give me your bones. Okay, cool. But yeah, I think we do have I don't know how many displays we have. I don't think we actually have that many displays, TBH. I think it's just the displays that we do have are kind of hefty. So, is it going to say when Arian is done putting the museum back together? Because it said a couple. How many days is a couple? Because I thought that was like 2 days. What time is it in game right now? Oh, I can't wait. Well, let me get out of the water. And then maybe I can see what time it is. And if it's a decent time, then maybe we'll sleep. Yeah, that's what I thought a couple was. Like 2 days. Here, can I? Oh, there's a ladder. Okay. Let me up. Did you sacrifice the kid yet? No, just because we haven't been able to get back into the museum to get our stuff. The fancy thing we need to sacrifice the kid. But we did complete the quest. So we're now waiting for Arian to put the museum back together so we can go in there and get it. Because all our shit for the museum got stolen. Which we did get back, but it feels like every time it really does feel like every time I need to go to the museum to go get something, something happens. Like last time I needed the museum real bad. It was haunted. And then this time, shit got stolen. So I'm like, can we please take a break? Can we please let things be normal for like 3 seconds? Okay, here we go. Alrighty. Hopefully we can maybe find a place to rest for a little bit. I'm wondering if part of it is we need to sleep or something. A lot of Mihail monsters are horrendous looking things. Oh, perfect. That's just what I need. Alright, I'm surprised there's not a bedroll over here. Do I have any camping supplies? No. Let's see. There's a boat over there. Do I have that boat location marker? That's what I'm looking for, is can we find a place to just like rest low-key? Just because that would be kind of nice, actually, if we can just find a bedroll and like sleep for a while. There we go. Rimwake Grotto. Haven't been here before. Find a bedroll, sleep for a while, and just call it a day. So that way we can get ready for the museum to be better. We could just go back to I mean, here's the thing, is we can sleep in the museum. Like, we can still go in the museum, but I don't know. Let's go to, I mean, we can try fast traveling and see what happens. I don't know if, like, I don't know if I sleep in the museum if it'll work. Although the safe under the museum are technically different, just, well, I don't know. Let's take a look. Alright, if we go in there and that dead body's still there, we know that he still needs more time. Let's take a look. Is the dead body still there? Dead body, please be gone. I don't want the dead body anymore. I don't want the dead body anymore. Oh, god damn it, the dead body's still there. How many displays are we at, by the way? 411. Okay, cool. Let's go sleep in the safe house and see if that makes a difference. It is sleeping time. So we'll see what's up. And we can still like access our supplies and stuff from the safe house at least. So let's take a look. I need to figure out how to upgrade the safe house. Although I also need to get the guild hall built, but it feels like there's just like, oh my god, so much material you need to get that guild hall built. It feels like it's like, I don't know how I'm ever gonna get it. I'm sure. Oh my god, that personal space. Do I have any? Nope. Maybe the dead body's part of the exhibit. Yeah, it's just extra immersive. Alright, let's take a sleep. See what happens. And I'll sleep for like, we'll sleep for 2.5 days just to be sure. You know, maybe she needs it. Maybe girly is like really stressed out, you know? She's had a crazy few days. I don't think I remember the last time she slept. So like, you know. I'll just let her go, you know. Sometimes you just need to sleep for like 3 days. That's fine. It's cool. You Yeah, she's fine. Console delete dead bodies. That's true. Alright, here she goes. Oh, wait. I think I have her set to sleep for 29 days. Okay, we don't need that. Aha! Okay, it worked. Yeah, she almost took a 29-day nap. I don't... She's been stressed, but I don't think she needs all that necessarily. Well, the museum isn't haunted anymore. It's just, you know. I do wanna... I know there was one sword that didn't have a display that I did keep. It was this one. Do I have any room to display that? Let's see. That's taken... That staff is kind of mid, so I wouldn't mind getting rid of it. No, these are all taken. I'm sure I can find another one. There might be another one just in the museum, low-key. Yeah, we'll have to take a look. Because it is a cool sword. I don't want to just, like, give up on it, you know? Let me see. Craftly will automatically continue. Only works for locations by... If enabled, Craftly will automatically loot the relevant containers from the safe house when using a crafting station. Return the items when you're done. By default, actually, yeah, let's do that just so that way I can use materials down here. So I can basically store my supplies and still use them downstairs, so I don't have to go back and forth. It might have been like that originally, but I don't want to run back and forth if I'm crafting displays and stuff like that. So, is that gonna... I don't know if that's gonna really take a bunch of our supplies, but we'll see. Hired the ghost as an employee. My Skyrim has been interrupted. I must go pub stop my friends in COD. Understandable. Well, thank you for hanging out, Leo. I hope you get fat dubs. Alright, let's see. We gotta talk to him. But thankfully, it looks like, should be our shit is back in order.
I have finished tending to my brother's burial. I thank you for allowing me that.
Yeah.
I am ready to discuss my punishment.
I thought we said we weren't firing you.
Of course, I may have been blind in this situation, but I do have a code of honor.
Bro, I'm not firing you. You helped us. It's cool. It's chill. You held accountability.
Might I have a word with you first?
Oh, yeah, sure. What's up?
My friend, might I have a word with you first?
Yeah, what's poppin'? Hope you get fattened up.
What would be your intended punishment for Avram's oversight?
I mean, it wasn't his fault.
I think that is most sensible. Avram feels
listen, like, it's not his fault, and yeah, he's connected to the thief, but he ended up killing him, so, like, I think it balances out. It's chill. Looks like we're all good, though.
Do you have a question?
You are forgiving me.
Oh, shit! Okay, we got an achievement for that. Yes, as annoying as this was, and it was annoying, it's not really your fault.
Oh, thank you so much. I swear I will be redoubling my efforts to securing the museum.
Thank you.
Thank you again for your understanding.
No problem.
I found something amongst Jalal's personal effects, tucked away in Engelman's Rest, which I would like you to have. It was a sword of our father, Abraham. With Jalal dead, it passes to me, and I would like you to have it.
Thank you. I will display it proudly.
It is the least I can do for you in repayment for your forgiveness. A true repayment will be to ensure it never happens again.
Yeah, me. Okay. So let's see if we can... It looks like... Looks like most of these... It doesn't look like it's in... Yeah, I think everything's back in order. Okay, cool. Alright, awesome. So, let's see. We're going to sort what we have now, and then I'm going to look up the name of the thing we need for the Anatomancer quest. Because that is something I want. So, what was it called? What was the... 26 new displays. Okay, we'll take that. And we lost 100 pounds. Wow. What a weight loss strategy. So, let me see. What was the name of the Anatomancer weapon? Does it have a CC anniversary patch? I think so. I don't remember what version of Skyrim I'm playing on. I think I'm like 1.59 something. I'll have to check. I dead ass don't remember. But I do think it does work after Anniversary Edition. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Sacred Anatomancer quest. What weapon do I need? Let's see. What is the name of the weapon? Weapons? It's not the Blade of Mercy. Is it the... It was something different. What was it? Sacred Runner quest walkthrough. Because this quest comes from a mod, if I believe. Let me see. It was the pipe something. What was the pipe called? Let me see. Anatomancer's pipe. Okay. Where is that in the museum? So it looks like we gotta do some looking around. So it is fucking 3:50 a.m. in game. So let's actually sleep real quick, just so it's a little bit brighter in here. We don't have to like struggle to see shit. And then in the morning, we'll see if we can find it, and then we'll have it, and we'll be ready to do more fucked up shit. The Pipe of Urchin ending. So let's see. I'm wondering, because there's something fucked up, so it might be in the Daedric Hall. I mean, we'll look here first. Stendarr's Hammer, Gravedigger, Skull Crusher, Thornblade. Not any of those. Let's see. Where's Candlelight? Just so I can like really see to make sure I don't miss anything. There's the Golden Claw, Troll's Bane, Dragon's Bane, Six House Bell Hammer. What's this one? Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's in here. It's probably gonna be in one of the rooms with the fucked up shit, or the... Well, no, I don't think it'd be in the armory, because the armory is all the sets. Would be upstairs. Let's see. Any other funky weapons up here? Let's see. Not this one. Yeah, that's the lunar stuff. Yeah, okay. Let's take a look through some of the various halls. It's definitely not in the Hall of Natural Science. Do I have any paintings I can display? No. Okay, that's fine. I don't think it's in Dragonborn Hall. Maybe not down this corridor. Let's see. Down here, maybe? Let's see. Because now this is back at the bottom. The Shadow Scale set? Not yet, I don't think. Might be in the East Exhibit Hall, but there's also...
That's beautiful.
Oh, thanks. Let's check the East Exhibit Hall, but I don't think it's there. Because I think there is a place that's, like, specifically for, like, Daedra and weird shit. Maybe the Hall of Oddities? I don't know. Let me see. Okay. Ooh, very pretty. Let's see. Daedra Gallery. It might be this one. Although the Anatomancer's not a Daedra, I don't think. Ring in the Mirror. Yeah, there's the Mace of Molag Bal. Let's see. Yeah, you can see some of the statues of the Daedra up there. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be down here, but we can check. But you can see there's some other Daedric weapons. So there's Dawnbreaker, the Wabbajack, all the Daedra we've helped. Don't think it's in here. Maybe Hall of Oddities. Use that mace to freak some guards. Listen. Here we go. Hall of Oddities, maybe? Jade statue. There's our cool pickaxe. Minecraft pickaxe. These are the card decks. Curious silver mold. There's another knife over here. Alessandra's dagger. That was my other thought, is maybe it be in here. But I don't see it. Maybe it is in the armory. There's a horn. Rapier of the Whisper. Vigilant Greatsword. Maybe it's in here? Because I think it's from a quest called Vigilant or something like that. No, doesn't look like it. you mean Parthenax already? Yes, we did. I think it wasn't super long ago. I think it was like 2 streams ago we met Parthenax. I don't see him in here. We've got a bunch of random shit, but not the random shit I need. Unless I'm missing it, but I'm not sure. Okay, wait, is this it? Or paralysis rod, Alka's staff? Yeah, no. Not quite. Where else could it be? Wouldn't be in the Hall of Lost Empires, would it? That wouldn't make sense. Okay, I might have to look around for it. Well, might have to look around for it just because it's a big fucking museum. So I think what we'll do, that allows you to switch characters? No, just because I don't think it's compatible with a lot of the stuff in my load order, unfortunately. I wish it was, though. I have a lot of characters I really, really enjoy, and especially would love to see as NPCs in here. So let's see. Yeah. I'll have to look it up. And I think I'll find it off stream, just so that way we have it for next time. But I think that would be a good place to kind of call it for today. So as always, thank you gamers so much for watching and spending your weekend with me. I want to say we got a lot done. I mean, like, we kind of did. We had 2 steps back, but 1 step forward still, right? We still got to do a little bit. But thank you gamers so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you had a fun time. I hope you enjoyed it. And I know I usually like try to make my schedule for next week by Sunday. I have not done that yet, but I will do it. But that schedule will be posted in the Discord and on Twitter. And then I also have a TikTok and a Twitter, and I'm writing a book about my OC Vanya. It's posted in those 2 places. I'm almost done the 3rd chapter. I'm hoping I can maybe post it next week. If not next week, the week after, but I'm almost done my 3rd chapter. So I've conquered my writer's block. But thank you, gamers. Let's see who we can raid. And a Facebook and a MySpace. I wish. Actually, MySpace, yes. Facebook, no. Facebook scares me. Facebook gives me weird vibes. So let's see who is alive right now, who we can send our love and affection to. Let's see. We'll raid. Yumi's raided us a lot lately. So we'll raid her and return the favor. The favor, not the famer. I don't know what that means. So she's playing Shadow of the Tomb of something. Got cut off. We'll do. What should our raid message be? Did I not raid correctly? Did it not start it? Hold on. It's not starting the raid. What the heck? Maybe she. Oh, did she just go offline? Maybe that's why. Let me try raiding Raider. It is just not letting me raid people. Oh. Well, that sucks. Well, I guess we don't get to raid anyone tonight. I'm sorry, gamers. Well, that's okay. I'll just give a shout out to these 2 people. Just because they are very cool. And if you would like someone to check out... Oh, it's not letting me post anything. Okay, great. But my friends Yume and Raider Sama are streaming right now. I don't know why it won't let me type in my... Okay, it'll let me type in my chat. It won't let me use commands. But my 2 friends, Yume and Raider, are streaming right now. So give them your love and affection, offline raid. But I will catch you guys on the flip side. So good night, gamers, and have a wonderful start to your week. Bye-bye!